Hi, you filled lifers. Welcome to this next episode of the Living a You Filled Life. I'm Fola, your host. I'm so glad you are listening to episode 2. Today, I'm hoping to talk to you about gratitude. This all kind of stemmed from my having a conversation with a good friend online, and we were just really talking about the ups and downs of life and how she was using gratitude to get through that. And I think it stemmed because she and her partner are currently traveling through Asia, and obviously being English speakers in a foreign country where English is probably not the first language. You know, they've had their struggles of journeying and getting to be tourists in a new place. And she was just mentioning how some days have been better than others for them, and how she was starting to use gratitude and how that was really starting to shift her life and her perception from these really stressful situations to just being like, hey, you know what? There's some awesomeness out there in life. So in our conversation, she'd asked what I did to give thanks and how I live this life of gratitude. And it really had me think what a great opportunity to share this with you. So I'm here today to just have a conversation about that. And really, I feel like gratitude is something that even if you are not like a spiritual person or you have no beliefs in anything, whatever that might look like, gratitude is something that every human being should practice. And I feel like since we were kids, that's something that was kind of, put on us by our parents. Every time you were asked for something or you asked for something, you'd say please, and it was like you learned to say thank you and well, you're welcome, and all these statements, right? So it's kind of funny how as we get older, it's like we kind of lose touch with those things that we have. And maybe it's, some of us, we didn't really have to give a lot of thanks for things. So I'm not too sure how it was for you in your life. I know for me, I've had a pretty blessed life. I feel like my parents provided a lot for us, and we did learn about gratitude, but it wasn't until the last few years for myself that I've really started to step up my gratitude game, if I can call it that, and really started to see the benefits in the long run of showing gratitude and reasons for giving it. So few of the reasons I wanted to touch on today for why you should start having a more gratitude-filled life and start to practice daily affirmations, daily appreciation statements, is that first off, giving gratitude actually helps raise your vibration. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about spiritual woohoo energy stuff, which you all know I love. There's actual scientific studies where they've used neuroimaging technology, functional MRIs and all this fun stuff. And I am by no means a neuroscientist. So if you're interested in the studies, let me know. I'm pretty sure I bookmarked them because I figured someone's going to ask me about this. But yeah, they've done some studies using this technology where they've actually been able to find correlations between certain areas of the brain and when someone is expressing gratitude. And this one study actually showed that when they had different control groups, and one group, they had people going through just psychotherapy sessions to kind of cope with their anxiety in that. When they had that group, and then they had another group that was writing out statements of gratitude as well as going through the psychotherapy, the people in that group doing the gratitude actually had a much better outcome. And so that just showed to them, hey, there has to be something here about giving thanks, showing appreciation. And I mean, when we think about it, the brain is basically this map of millions of neurons that is communicating via electricity and currents. So there has to be something here. It literally is like a vibration. It's energy running through our brains. So I know that for myself, when I make statements of gratitude, I begin to have this sense of vibration in my body, and it makes me feel really light and vibrant and just like so good. So just be mindful of that. The next reason I think it's great to start giving gratitude is that it shows appreciation for what you have. And when we show appreciation for all those things in life, you're really beginning to just become more aware. And when we're aware of those things, then we can start to move forward from where we're at into a place of maybe where we envision ourselves to be or what we really truly desire. So that's leading into then the third reason for giving gratitude, and that is that it helps put things into perspective for us. So when you have a guideline on how your life is playing out, and when you begin to really see that the universe is conspiring for you, you're better able to live this bright, you-filled life. And you're acknowledging that even though something not so positive might be happening, which, let's be honest, like that's part of life, it happens. You still have all these other areas in your life where you can focus your attention, and it really builds this foundation for you. And when we do this, then we're riding that high energy wave of positivity, and it starts to transmute like all the negative stuff that's going on that maybe we're struggling with, because you're being mindful, you're focusing on this other area while still working on like the shadow self and working through those limiting beliefs that maybe are putting you down. But it's just makes you like the stronger person to be able to come out of those darker periods. And to me, that is like the beauty of life. That is the whole beauty and the purpose of like alchemy, if we want to talk about the alchemist again, So just imagine if you could begin to use this in all the areas of your life, how powerful that would be. So now that you've heard a bit about the reasons why you should give gratitude, let's talk a bit about ways that you can actually initiate the process of gratitude and those lovely vibrations. I'll talk a bit about some of the ones that I found to be the most powerful. And obviously at the end, leave me your comments. I'd love to hear what you feel has helped you along your journey. So first off, for me, and something that I started with those few years ago when I kind of got more into all this stuff, was that of journaling. And you can journal anything. I mean, I could probably have like 10 different journals of all these different things, but for sure a gratitude journal, or just spending the time morning and or night to just give thanks for something or all the things that you like that come to your mind. Just sit down, take the time to write out those statements. And for me, sometimes it varies. Like some nights I might just have the energy at the end of the day to do like 3, it's like I just need to go to bed, take care of my body, take care of my mind, but I'm willing to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for from that day. Or in the morning, I seem like I have more energy. I could wake up after I do my dream writing, I will just put like, thank you, Spirit, for this, and like list off. It could be like 3 pages long. So just really go with the flow and trust that whatever you write down, it needs to be written down, or, you're just really putting these things down to paper and just reminding yourself and kind of going with that flow and building up that energy. And the benefit of writing these things down is it's always nice. And you can go out like later. I don't know if anyone else does that. Go through your journal, read through. And when you start going through those like appreciation statements, it just makes you feel like all that gratitude again. And it's so lovely. So that's one awesome way that you can begin to give gratitude. Another is verbalizing those gratitudes or those statements to yourself. Whether you do that out loud or quietly, it doesn't matter. I love doing this when I'm driving. Another great thing about this is that you can share with other people. Like, I don't think we do that enough. Sometimes I will just tell someone like, what are you grateful for today? Because it kind of throws people off, I think. But I do that with my daughter when we're driving in the morning. She's going to her like day home. I'm going to work. I will just be like, so tell me what you're grateful for today. And usually it's the same 2 things, pineapples and horses. But you know what? She's only 5, so what can I say? And I do think it's effective, and it just allows us both to be present, because she stops and thinks a bit, even though she says the same two things usually. But I have noticed over the last like few months, when I do it with her, she's saying at least one other thing in addition to the pineapples and horses. But whatever. I mean, this girl is probably going to have a horse named Pineapple or something by the time she's like 10. So I wouldn't put it past her. But yeah, anyways, if you are wanting to just practice this, like in the morning, you wake up, you're in the washroom, getting ready, looking in the mirror, just look at yourself, make these statements of, I'm thankful for like my hair and my body, that I got up, that I'm able to have a like warm running shower, that I have this roof over my head, I have a job that I get to go to and like bring value to someone else's life, I have this vehicle that runs smoothly, the sun is shining, like whatever it might be. Just like go with the flow of it. And it might take you a while at first. Some things I would encourage you to do is like, if you struggle so much with just like finding that like rhythm of like free flowing words out, maybe listen to YouTube videos. Some great ones are from Abraham Hicks, which I'm sure some of you have heard of. But Abraham Hicks talks a lot about these rampages of appreciation. And I love that term, like rampage of appreciation. It's like, no, it's like a war mission, but it's like you are dedicated to building yourself up and like shifting your vibration into this higher state. And you can do that by listening to someone else do it, which is great if you go on YouTube and listen to Abraham Hicks and these rampages. Or you can just, once you get like in the flow of that, you can start just your own, right? In your own life, where you are at that current moment. And it's just so powerful. And I sometimes do this even at work. If I'm like zoning out, or if I'm like starting to feel bad about something, I will just start to list off some things that I feel really grateful for. Even in my head, it still is powerful, and it just helps you to become present and just kind of check in with yourself again. So definitely a great opportunity. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of gratitude is just the completion process of energy, like movement in the world, because energy is always coming and going, and it's like this current. If we stop energy flow from just holding on to something when we receive it, then it's not going to move out. It's just going to become stagnant, right? And this is something that's so important, especially when we start talking about like the magic of like manifesting things in our life and how we want to create all this amazing stuff and like things that we desire. If you are just constantly like holding on to and not giving thanks, you're holding on to energy, maybe because there's this like sense of a fear of lack or that you're going to lose out on something, then really nothing more is going to grow. And so when I talk about donations, giving, tithing, whatever that is to you, it doesn't necessarily have to be about giving financially, though I know like that's a huge part of our society. We tithe to the church and we give donations to this organization or that organization, and those things are great. And I think that's really important. If you have a cause that, or you know of a cause that you think is amazing and you want to give back and support those people in doing what they're doing, and give. Like, I encourage you to experiment with giving so much, whatever that looks like for you based on your bank account every month, and just see what begins to happen. And I want to just say that once you start doing that, like, trust me, you will be amazed at the returns that you're getting. And it's not like you're just giving to like return, you're giving it for a reason, because you believe in where you're giving the money to. That's a huge part. Don't just give money to like some organization because you think you need to give money. Like, give it because you see the benefit that they're bringing to other people's lives. And once you start doing that, just begin to see how things are unfolding for you. Because the way I see this now is that like Spirit is not testing us, but kind of seeing, hey, I see like Fola there. If she's giving something to someone else that has been provided to her, and it's a consistent basis that it's happening, then maybe I can begin to like receive more, because like, okay, I know if I give this to Fola, this so much else she'll give to another group or whatever it might be, I can give more. And I say I'm talking from like sources perspective, but anyway. So yeah, just experiment. See, like, what does Spirit do for you when you begin to explore with giving of your finances? Or if that's not a possibility, because again, that's not the only way or only energy source that we have. Maybe it's you giving your time, giving your patience, giving your knowledge, your expertise to someone. I mean, we have all these different groups that exist, like at least in Canada, where people can support others who are in need of that. And there's so many awesome groups out there. Just find something that you're interested in. Just ask for that like guidance to wherever it might be, and just start to volunteer and give that time that you can. So I think if you're really struggling with this part of giving thanks and giving in a sense of energy, then I would encourage you to check out some books. One author that's really stuck out to me is Catherine Ponder. She's like a new thought writer from the 20th century. She also is like a pastor, or was a pastor, within a certain like church denomination in the States. But she's written so many books on all these topics, like opening to receive and being willing to give and all this stuff, and like about physical and mental healing. And I just found it really powerful. Just for me, coming from like a more Christian background, she really relates how people in the Bible and their prosperity and abundance was influenced, because, you know, a lot of times in like spiritual communities, we have this view that, oh, maybe the person shouldn't have so much money because money could be the root of all evil and all these things, right? These are all just these limiting beliefs that we've been fed or grew up thinking were true. So reading her books has really helped me with facing some of those belief systems that I've had, and some different techniques and where I can like start to kind of shift out of that. Cause yeah, I mean, we're here to like live this abundant, prosperous life, and it's supposed to be fulfilling. You need to live this life to the fullest and enjoy it. And just a part of that is giving gratitude. And that is going to be the steps towards you manifesting that bigger vision for yourself, whatever that might be. So, yeah, there you have it. I mean, I encourage you to just, you know, think about these things I talked about today. When things aren't working out the way you want and you're really struggling, maybe to recenter, ground yourself, and step into this place of appreciation, be mindful, and just give thanks for all the things that you've been blessed with. And remember that the universe is conspiring for you, and that you can pick any of these techniques that are listed and begin practicing them day to day. And I encourage you to do that. Like, pick one, even if it's you just writing 3 things down tonight as you go to bed in a journal, or you verbalizing them to yourself, and begin to see how that starts to shift your mind. And just really trust that as you begin to see this world and the world in this way of like how fulfilling it can be, you'll start to have more peace and more joy in the little things. And this means there'll be less suffering in the long run, which really is, in my opinion, why we're here. And like, is that not a good reason for us to live a you-filled life, right? So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. I will put a shout out here if you are on the group or on my Facebook business page, Fola Veritas. I am currently doing some shamanic coaching sessions, and I'm looking for all the lovely people out there to do a session or 2 with. So if you are interested in that, I'll put a link as well here with a bit more information on what I mean when I talk about shamanic coaching. And I think I might actually make another little video about what that looks like, because, again, it sounds kind of mysterious. It's not really. It's about helping you shift your mindset, kind of cut away from any limiting beliefs, any like energetic holds, helping you connect more to like the nature around you, whether it's animals, plants, all this amazing stuff that it has existed forever, really. And that'll help you to step more powerfully into your day-to-day life. And from my personal experience, it has just been so great to see how utilizing a lot of the shamanic healing practices has helped me to become who I am now. And I don't think I would be someone who'd be making a podcast like 3-4 years ago. So you never know where life is going to take you, but just being able to step into those unknown areas and work through the healing that needs to happen, that is the powerfulness of life. So yeah, I encourage you to check that out. Send me a message, pass it on to your friends, because I need like 100 sessions to get through my practicum, and I've given myself a goal. So I'm looking for people, and this is going to help me like just bring value to your life. So I'm excited to like totally do that and to share this medicine with other people who maybe had no idea about what shamanism is, or were kind of wanting to get their toes wet a bit. So yeah. So let me know, and I thank you for listening today. Take care.